spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose, I love comic books, I love talking about them, I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site where you can get plot synopsis for this story as well as character bios. So we are going to be looking at Amazing Spider-Man 301. We have covered almost all of Todd McFarlane's run, but I started in 314 and went forward, and I decided, I should cover the whole thing. So I now went back. So I have a playlist for Todd McFarlane. You can start wherever you'd like in there. But like I said, 314 on up, including his Spider-Man run. These are a little loose, meaning I don't really spend too much time on the actual story. My main focus is to get that beautiful Todd McFarlane art. This is his second issue inking himself. 300 was his first one. And I should say in Spider-Man, his first issue inking himself was the Batman Year 2, Part 4. That was his first one. So this would be his third, perhaps, inking himself. And it is a replica of the 300, only this time with the red and blue costume. So, David Michelini or Michelini, depending how you want to, is the writer. Todd McFarlane does the pencils and the inks. Rick Parker is a very good letterer. So, the Sable Gauntlet. So, these guys work for Silver Sable. I love the guy here in the mustache. This is how McFarlane actually, it's very funny. All these different artists, how you can tell by how they draw people. John Romita Jr., you can clearly tell when he's drawing somebody running. It's pretty cool to see the styles and stuff. So, you can see these guys are trapped. They take out a shield. So, and it's just paint. They're trying to make a point. So, yeah, this looks like Cyclops. So he says, how do we do? And says, those fumes should tell you that, Mr. McKay. They're harmless, but had this been a real dangerous situation, those paintballs would have been filled with poison gas. So, they protect themselves from the obvious, but the subtle could have killed them. I'm afraid you failed the test. And then, which means, Mr. Cruz, that we succeeded. And we got McFarlane's legendary vertical panels. Nobody does them quite like him. Him and Frank Miller. So this guy says we succeeded. And so this Cruz guy is the head of security. He says, not necessary, Mr. Pruitt. The Wild Pack is good, but some terrorists could be better. And Silver Sable's like, humph. And so, he wants to hire Silver Sable to be the one to actually do the next test, just to make sure. And he says they'll give her a 50,000 bonus, and she's like, I hate this. This isn't what I want to do, and blah blah blah. She says they're like, again, vertical panels here, and they'll go, all right, 100,000. Pride must be prickly to hurt, so when swallowed. And she's like, I'll take the contract. And it's funny because internal monologue tells you she's not taking it because of the money, but all right. So So we're on the Upper West Side, and Peter and Mary Jane are moving into their new condominium or new place or whatever apartment. And so Mary Jane is telling people where to move stuff, and or not people, but Peter. And McFarlane is such a good cartoonist. His style is so distinct. I don't know. I don't know how to. I mean, you all can see it. It's just it's so cool. So Mary Jane has to go to a photo shoot, and so Peter's gonna go check out the photography course at the university, and Mary Jane goes, "In your Spider-Man costume, are you expecting trouble from the synchronized swim team?" And he says he's got a little errand to run first. So, and he is putting the costume underneath his regular clothes. So Mary Jane's gonna go to her place, and he's gonna go to his. So off we go. He continues this throughout his Spawn run. These vertical panels of buildings and stuff like that. And Greg Capullo actually begins to do this as well. So her and her uncle are having words over the Wild Pack, but Spider-Man is here because Sable had called him. And so... Oh, she didn't call him. He showed up to ask questions. He wanted to know why he had sent the Wild Pack after her, and she goes, someone had hired her to do it. So this took place in Spectacular Spider-Man 128. He says, nothing personal. He's like, what? And he's like, I hate being hunted like a buck during deer season. So her butler comes in, and when these two arrive, his spider sense goes off, so he knows one of these two is bad. So, and she's like, "Excuse me, next time use the front door." And he's like, "I should have warned her, but whatever. It's her problem. Let her figure it out herself." The webbing is still a work in progress, but he eventually does get to it. And so this gentleman's looking for Peter, but the doorman tells him that he just missed him, and he's went to his school. I love these short little mustaches. Nobody wears them, but you see them in comic books all the time. So Empire State University, which is a made-up school where Peter went, and as he's walking by, he's recognized by Dr. Sloan here. He asks him if he could go see his students in physics because they don't seem to be understanding. Peter says he's a little rusty, that he couldn't, but he does, and here he is explaining them explaining them how it works. First, you have to understand that electrons are always on the move, sort of like Pee Wee Herman after a Mexican dinner. So this is Mary Jane's big rival, Topaz. And she's like, Mary Jane, darling, I love what Sandy is doing to your hair. It was so stylish when I used it for a cover shot last year. And Mary Jane's like, really? I must have missed that issue of Kettle Quarterly. So here Peter is leaving the school. I love the way his hair is done. I love the marks that McFarlane kind of just does. So it's very funny how he developed the style, and even to this day, he just adds now. Now he adds more ticks. He had less ticks here, but the way he does the hair, is still when you look at his drawings, they still look that way. And eyes, kind of that rectangle. Still does him. So Peter says something's still nagging him. He's just curious. He doesn't want to hassle anymore with Silver Sable, but he's curious as to what was going on. And here's the gentleman that was looking for Peter earlier, but he just missed him again. So he's looking for Peter, obviously. So, and here goes Peter as Spider-Man. So, and basically, she's going to do the same thing the other her people were doing. So, and this person here says, "I'll be monitoring from the technical van," and so she's gonna see if she can get through the way that her people failed to do. McFarlane and his poses, man, amazing. And here you can see he sort of so one of the things you'll notice here is he really bolded on the webbing. If you look here, it's a little bit more bold as far as the line that he's using. So he's like, he checked Pruitt out, and Pruitt was the head of the company. He says he seems legit, but Cruz, who's the head of security, he said it just found him puzzling. He couldn't find anything on him earlier than 3 years ago. So he thinks, even though it doesn't prove anything, that there's probably problems. So he's gonna go in, and of course, as soon as he does that, his spider sense goes in, and there is he's got a security system. So he doesn't see anything, but suddenly he sees like light coming from the seams. So there's some kind of compartment there. And so she's gonna take the elevators, and there's all these lasers. Man, they're really focused on security. And so she disables them, and she thought they were paint, but these are not paint. So they're using real ammo. So something's off. And so Spider-Man's going to try to peek behind the wall. He realizes that the telephone is connected to it, so there has to be a switch. And when he hits the switch, boom, Cruz is a Nazi. So they had mentioned before that that organization was Nazi hunters. So this is sort of payback. Great. Great panel here with Spider-Man looking. He's really getting into his own, just slowly but surely. So same thing, she's gonna try to go through, and here you can see that it hits it, and again, she thinks it's paint, but they're using real ammo. And so Spider-Man's reading all these letters. Frank Cruz was actually Franz Kraus. He's the son of a Nazi war criminal. When his dad basically died in prison, Cruz was going to get revenge. So, and he realizes that he's using real ammunition because he wants Silver Sable dead. And so as she's walking by, here comes like this little flying thing here. Again, this just seems ludicrous, but we're just going to go with it. Part of the reason that I'm just kind of not reading the way I've been doing is just A lot of these things are kind of silly, so I just kind of am just giving you the overall story. So, this thing has, if you can see here, has a needle and it hits the plant and then it kills the plant like immediately. You can see the plant dying. And so here comes Spider-Man. Great panel. Great pose. He gets her, his spider sense is going. And so, again, the security, so he's going to have to find another way. He breaks through the window. And so Silver Sable makes it to the security room, and you can see here that they're letting us know this is the button that she has to press. And she's about to hit it, but Spider-Man stops her with his web. And so he's trying to tell her that if she presses the button, it would kill her. And how does she know? And he's trying to explain it to her, and she thinks that he is part of the security test, part of the test here. Love how McFarlane. I love this. This is another trope of his, showing the blast from guns. He does this all the time. So, and he's like, "Okay, you're not listening," and then kaboom. So she throws her ninja stars at him. You can see that McFarlane's still not all there yet. Like you can see here, sort of in the way the face is and all that kind of stuff. So, and so here we go, kind of one to the other, and then she tells him that Frank Cruz is Franz Kraus. So he finally, once he has her attention, he says, "Here's the explosives." And so she says thank you for, even though she's not very humble. So, and Spider-Man's like, "Gratitude from the Silver Sable? Hey, don't mention it." And she's like, "I won't." So this guy here says they disabled all the explosives, and he says that she'll be paid her full fee, and also that he'd like to commission her to bring him into justice. And she says she'll have to check her schedule, but they can work on it. And Spider-Man's like, "Great. She gets big bucks and another job. I saved a day, and I don't even get car fare." How typical. The eyes, we're gonna work toward getting those nice big eyes. It's still not there, but you're starting to kind of see what this is. You can already sense little by little. So Peter gets home, and this dude is now waiting for him. His name is Martin Jacoby, and he is a research emporia in Kansas. And he says Dr. Connors recommended him. Dr. Connors is the lizard, and he's basically offering him a job as a chief assistant, and that job is for him. So thus ends the issue. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 301 by David Michelini and Todd McFarlane. Thanks for listening.